So, Lindo, it's really the mop-up operations and people picking up the pieces of their lives after those devastating floods whose visuals we saw in the last few days. What kind of help are people receiving, and what is the expectation ahead of the President's visit to Mamelodi?
Well, rightfully so, Chulas. In fact, earlier on, we were able to go and visit that community near the river banks that's been affected badly by these particular floods that we've seen in a couple of days before. But one of the things that's been positive, in fact, from this church where the President is expected to come is the fact that there are a lot of organizations, a lot of people, individuals coming through to come and help some of those that are less fortunate in this instance. And in fact, what I'd like to do, Chulas, at this stage is to move to some of the foundations here, some of the organizations, just to get a sense of what they've been able to do here. And this one is the Colin Mashawana Foundations. Colin, thank you so much for joining us. But just take us through what is it exactly that you've been able to do, particularly donating and aiding those who are in need at this stage.
Thank you for having us. We are here today to donate blankets and mattresses. So we have targeted 100 victims whom we'll be assisting for today. In addition to that, we've identified 2 families that we're going to be building houses for. Yeah. Okay,
your foundation is from this particular area, I understand.
Our foundation is based in Gauteng, so we cover all the regions within Gauteng, including Mamelodi.
All right, thank you so much, Baba, for what you're doing and for speaking to us. That's one of the foundations here, Tula, as we quickly try to move. The next one is, of course, the Gift of the Givers. That is always seen aiding some of the victims, particularly on such natural disasters. And we are going to speak to Mama. Thank you so much for joining us. This is the Gift of the Givers. But just tell us throughout these days that there's been flash floods, what you've been able to do, what areas have you been able to cover as well?
Well, we've been in Mamelodi since yesterday, and when we came here yesterday, we brought blankets and some food items. But we're also in the process of preparing hot meals for these people, as that is much needed, and also hygiene items is much needed at the moment. We are preparing that, and it will be delivered by this afternoon.
And just to give us a sense of how long you guys are hoping to stay at this particular community, because some of them are trying to rebuild at this stage, but there are those that remain at this particular church.
Well, at the moment we're just here to assess as well, so we will see how long it will take for people to go back to their places, and then from there we would also like to assist them with rebuilding their places.
All right, let's try and move. Thank you so much for speaking to us. Tulas, just as the last one, I am going to be showing you what has been a clinic moving out of the community clinic to come to this particular area and assess those that are injured. And this is basically how they've set up here. We are going to speak to one of the sisters, Utembi Ngobese, from District 6 as is written. But just tell us about the setting here, what is happening, and what are some of the injuries you've been able to treat some of the people here.
I'm Sister Tembi Ngobese. We're here from Wabokot, under Department of Health in Tshwane District, in partnership with VETS RHI, which is supporting partner. We are here to render services at community level, which are, we screen for chronic illnesses, we monitor blood pressure, we monitor vital signs and blood glucose. We identify people who lost their chronic treatment during floods. Then we refer them to the nearest clinic, which is Mamelodi West Clinic. Yes, we had some minor injuries. We treated them, and those that we need to refer, we refer them to Mamelodi Day Hospital, we refer them to Mamelodi West Clinic and to other nearest facilities.
All right, sister, thank you so much for sharing that with you guys, and thank you so much for the work that you are doing here. But some of the organizations as well as health facilities that have moved towards this particular area to provide the much needed aid that is needed here. And as you see, just behind me is of course Home Affairs, which is the most important, I believe, because a lot of people have cited that they've lost documentations, but we are just showing you some of the organizations that are here. Gift of the Givers has been providing food, and we understand that the Colin Mashawana Foundation will be donating about 100 mattresses as well as 100 blankets to the people here, so they are not left alone at this particular dark moment for them.
All right, live for us from Mamelodi's ENCA's Lindokuhle Xulu, on standby there and monitoring the situation ahead of the arrival of President Cyril Ramaphosa.